Let's go.
DeOrganized media keeps the mind share. Growing in the morning with peace and GP. Keep you knowing the alpha keeps flowing. The hunters tools they be showing. The AI Gale keeps them in clips that be glowing. Consistent on the daily, they bring Bitcoin news. Ethereum, Solana, and stacks and other L2s. Showcasing new projects and giving you clues. Just do your own research and don't give us abuse. When the people are informed, peace brings on the chat. Spotlighting guests and filling up your bags. The flag doesn't matter as long as you grab. Take the gold mic and let us know where you stack. Or from the underworld, the game master arrives, bringing the games that satisfy the hive. Hunters come running, it keeps them alive. Scouring the planet for the treasures inside. Stacks improvement takes a sip, innovating the chain. Letting the community know is the name of the game. Spreading awareness and helping explain why Stacks is where it's at. We are pumping the name. Fast transactions are fat. Where is that? The leading L2 is making maxes look back. DeOrganized media keeps the mind share. Growing in the morning with peace and GP. Keep you knowing the alpha keeps flowing. The hunters tools they be showing. The AI Gale keeps them in clips that be glowing. Consistent on the daily, they bring Bitcoin.
Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal Peace Love Music with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our amazing friends at Bitcoin Live Decentralized Broadcasting. It's Wednesday, hump day. We're going to get over the hump. Whoop. Several things going on today. And for those of you who do follow, we put the ignition post out just before, usually around 7 a.m. I'm a little slow this morning, but I'm going to start putting what we have on our calendar for the day. And if you want to be listed on that, let us know and we'll get you on there. But we have our whatever morning space at 8 a.m. with Binta. At 8:30, we'll be back with the news. No special guest this morning. It'll be just me hanging out with the Chads, chopping it up. Looking forward to catching back up with 300. He was a little tied up yesterday. We have Find2Earn rounds at 9:30 a.m. with the Game Master. At noon is the BFF Army Boot Camp with Gnome, the advisor. Really interesting. You guys should definitely tune into that. I'm going to be talking about some DeFi and walking people through on how to use some of the DeFi applications on Stacks. At 3 p.m. is the Building on Bitcoin with a BitFlow show. I will actually be co-hosting with Big Mac today. Diego's going to be out, and be a nice, interesting get-together. And then at 4:30, this is only for the deep chads. If you guys want to know, want access to it, you're interested, let me know. We are working on Pillar Smart Wallet, and there is a Pillar Smart Wallet webinar at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time today. Daily contest is open, guys. Answer the question in the pinned post on the DeOrganized account. That's this daily live stream. Go reply. Let us know, what are you building or working on right now? That's it. You enter to win your share of 200 STX for the month of January. I think we're going to do it a little bit different for February. But you guys got to participate. And also don't forget, Fridays you get double entry. So make sure you tune in Friday morning. Participate. Get your entries in. I'm going to actually leave you guys with yesterday's news and morning show. I think that may actually be an interesting piece to play before the daily news. Is just a recap of what happened yesterday. We'll see how it goes. But thank you guys for tuning in, especially those of you that are early and for always supporting DeOrganized. We really appreciate you. I'll leave you guys, and I'll see you soon with the news at 8:30.
DeOrganized media keeps the mind share. Growing in the morning with peace and
Bitcoin coming in at 90,948, down another 2% off of where it was yesterday morning. Now, here it reached down almost into that tier range again. We're now back to the treasures inside. Stacks improvement takes a sip, innovating the chain, letting the community know what's the name of the game. Spreading awareness and helping explain why Stacks is where it's at. We are pumping the name. Back down here, and everyone didn't think it was going to get there. I can't believe it. And then it starts going like this, and everyone's still like freaking out back here. They think it's going to just like fall off the earth, but it's not. not. So you come up here, you go back here, you come up here a little bit more, and you start racking back. Just makes a cycle. So don't pick out, don't make rash decisions based on short-term price action. Ethereum down 4% at 3K. I looked at stack earlier. I wonder if it's 31. Stack that is doing better than just around the same as Ethereum today. And if you were paying attention, you had opportunities to buy it at 25 cents in the last couple of weeks. Maybe though, getting close. Who knows? You could wait, or you could buy some today. Up to you. Top three gainers over the last 24 hours are Canton CC token, Mix Finance, and Meme Core's M token. Not familiar with any of those. So again, if you're interested, do your own research. I'm just saying that that's what's up today. And there's not much else up. Still a red day. Red start to the week. No, I don't think this has a whole lot to do with tariffs or anything else. I think it's just how market dynamics work. Stories just kind of manifest around that. Let's take a look at the news. Bitcoin at risk of a slide to $58,000 as restrictive Fed policy and trade tensions weigh on crypto. This article is by CoinDesk, by the way. Today we're featuring articles by CoinDesk, Decrypt, Cointelegraph, and Cryptopolitan. And you realize a lot of these actually come through I'll get back to that. Bitcoin faces downside risk as macro pressure builds. Bitcoin is under renewed pressure, restrictive Federal Reserve policy expectations, and rising global trade tensions weigh in risk assets. Analysts warn that if current support levels fail, Bitcoin could retrace toward the mid-50K range. Sticky inflation, delayed rate cut expectations, and uncertainty around global tariffs are tightening liquidity conditions, creating headwinds for speculative assets, while long-term structure remains intact. Near-term price action is increasingly sensitive to macro signals rather than crypto-native catalysts. Spreading awareness and helping explain why Stacks is where it's at. We are pumping the name. Well, doing that during the news is probably not the best time. DeOrganized media keeps the mind share growing in the morning with peace and GP. Keep you knowing the alpha keeps flowing. The hunters tools they be showing. The AI gale keeps them 849. Crypto whales accumulate as retail pulls back. On-chain data shows large holders quietly accumulating Bitcoin as retail participation pools. Wallets holding significant balances have increased exposure during recent pullbacks, while smaller wallets show reduced activity. This divergence suggests experienced capital may be positioning for long-term upside, even as sentiment among everyday traders weakens. Historically, this pattern has often appeared during consolidation or late correction phases rather than market tops. A Bitcoin wallet dormant for over a decade suddenly moved roughly $84 million with BTC, reigniting discussion around long-term holders and supply dynamics. While such events often spark fear of imminent selling, similar past movements have frequently resulted in internal transfers or custody upgrades rather than in immediate distribution. Still, these awakenings tend to heighten short-term volatility as traders react emotionally to perceived supply shocks. This one here. DeFi protocol Pendle revamped governance token, citing low adoption. We had a conversation yesterday about governance and DAOs. Pendle announced plans to replace its governance token after adoption and participation failed to meet expectations. The move reflects a broader reassessment happening across DeFi, where projects are questioning whether national governance tokens meaningfully align incentives or simply dilute value. Pendle's decision signals a willingness to restructure token design to better reflect actual usage and contributor engagement rather than legacy DAO frameworks. The last news story, global CEOs reveal aggressive AI and M&A plans despite uncertainty. Outside crypto, a new survey shows global CEOs aggressively expanding AI investment plans, prioritizing automation, efficiency, and competitive advantage. This reinforces a broader narrative. Capital continues flowing toward this transformative technologies, even as macro conditions tighten for crypto markets. AI remains parallel innovation cycle, competing for attention, talent, and investment dollars, especially during periods of risk-off sentiment. So markets are risk-off. Macro is back in the driver's seat. Whales are quietly positioning, and crypto continues to evolve structurally while competing for AI capital. And also, we do want to just remind everybody, BitFlow is the place to go if you're looking to trade stacks, USDC, BTC, STX, SBTC, and more, all at the best prices across crypto. That's bitflow.finance. Check them out. They got so much cool stuff happening these days. And we have the Building on BitFlow, Building on Bitcoin space hosted by BitFlow on Wednesdays at 3 p.m.
Improving takes a sip, innovating the chain, letting the community know it's the name of the game, spreading awareness and helping explain why Stacks is where it's at. We are pumping the name.
Looks like PC's actually in the. Let me see if I can. Morning, GP. You with us?
DeOrganized media keeps the mind shared. Growing in the morning with peace and GP. Keep you knowing the alpha keeps flowing. The hunters tools they be showing. The AI gale keeps them in clips that be glowing. Consistent on the daily, they bring Bitcoin news. Ethereum, Solana, and Stacks and other L2s. Showcasing new projects and giving you clues. Just do your own research and don't give us abuse. When the people are informed, peace brings on the chat. Spotlighting guests and filling up your bags. The flag doesn't matter as long as you grab. Take the gold mic and let us know where you stack. From the underworld, the game master arrives.
I turned my. Sorry, guys. I had my mic down a little bit. That's why the music was loud. Sorry, Hero. Thanks for the heads up. Oh, AI BTC working group at 12:30 today. I missed it last week because they changed the time last minute, but I'm excited to hear more about that. And then we'll also have Hero's summary of that tomorrow as well. You guys should be following on the. The Stacks forum. Let me actually show you guys how to do that. It's forum.stacks.org. And there's tons of information here. We have Stacks Snacks. This comes out weekly by Claire. I haven't actually gone over this since a little while. I think the most recent one's at the top. No, maybe not. November still. Haven't seen one of these in a while. But maybe it's down further. Here we go. Let's go to the most recently. The recent Stacks Snacks was this past Friday, the 16th. Stacks big ideas in 2026. Their take on what's ahead for the ecosystem. Let's take a look at that. Stacks big ideas 2026. Bitcoin is entering 2026 with momentum, legitimacy, and scale. What it lacks. Do I have this on there? I don't think I do. Let me show you guys. Well, I'm not sure what's going on with GP. We'll get him back on when he can. Let's see. So what it still lacks is not capital or conviction, but infrastructure that lets Bitcoin move, earn, and coordinate without compromising its core principles. Over the past year, a set of ideas has begun to crystallize across builders, researchers, institutions, and core contributors in the Stacks ecosystem. These ideas point toward how Bitcoin may function operationally in the next phase of adoption. This is a synthesis of ideas highlighted by leading figures in the Stacks ecosystem and core organizations. They are drawn from research forums, technical talks, protocol launches, and ecosystem experiments already underway. Together, they outline the narratives likely to shape 2026 for Stacks and more broadly, Bitcoin as programmable capital. Self-custodial Bitcoin staking. There is currently no product on the market that allows Bitcoin holders to stake BTC on the base layer to earn Bitcoin-denominated yield while remaining fully self-custodial. Because of this, trillions of dollars in BTC held by individuals, institutions, treasuries, and ETFs remain idle. Participating in yield today generally requires giving up custody, moving BTC off Bitcoin, or relying on intermediaries. These constraints exclude most large pools of capital. Stacks' latest R&D update explores a design for self-custodial Bitcoin staking that keeps BTC anchored to Bitcoin L1 while enabling Bitcoin-denominated yield through Stacks. The approach avoids custodial wrappers and federated bridges and is designed to preserve unilateral exit and Bitcoin-grade security assumptions. This is the first step in bootstrapping liquidity for Stacks. By enabling native Bitcoin yield under Bitcoin's trust model, Stacks targets the largest unused capital base in crypto, idle BTC. And this quote from Alex Miller sums it up. Right now, it's clear that holders want to leverage their Bitcoin in yield opportunities and DeFi in much greater numbers if the Bitcoin can be self-custodied at the L1. The latest designs directly tackle this and are already being tested with light implementations. Oh, very good, very good. Bitcoin-Earn vaults. Institutions want Bitcoin yield, but only through products that are auditable and work with existing custody and investment frameworks. Most Bitcoin yield solutions today fail this standard because they rely on custodial structures, fragmented DeFi strategies, or cross-chain risk that institutions can't underwrite. Bitcoin-Earn vaults offered through Hermetica take a different approach. Built on SBTC, the vault combines yield strategies with transparent on-chain execution and settlement anchored to Bitcoin, making it the first live implementation of this model. Operating with Stacks' enterprise-ready infrastructure, the vault is designed for institutions to participate. Vault logic is enforced by smart contracts while settlement remains tied to Bitcoin. The design avoids trusted middlemen and eliminates cross-chain risk. Quote from Jacob from Hermetica. The most important part of it is that it's non-custodial. Users control withdrawals. Everything is fully on-chain, and activity is visible in real time. You show up with your Bitcoin, and it's a one-click deposit into the vault. That's it. You show up with your Bitcoin, and it's a one-click deposit into the vault. By the way, I've been testing out Hermetica's HBTC, and it definitely seems to be working very smoothly. I'm super excited about that. I think they're giving like 6% on your Bitcoin right now. So it's not self-custodial. As it stands, you do got to bridge it in to Stacks, but it is super easy, super smooth, super fast. So you can't have them all necessarily, or eventually we will. Right now, lots of functionality for Bitcoin being developed on Stacks, and huge shout out to Hermetica with what they're doing. Productive Bitcoin treasuries. Corporations, funds, and endowments now hold large amounts of Bitcoin, but most of it sits idle. Internal rules around custody, risk, and oversight make it difficult for treasuries to earn yield without handing control to third parties or moving BTC off Bitcoin. Stacks offers a different path. Through Bitcoin staking with Bitcoin native financial protocols, treasuries can earn yield paid in Bitcoin while keeping security aligned with Bitcoin itself. Returns come from participating directly in the network rather than lending out assets or relying on discretionary counterparties. This model is reinforced by Stacks' institutional track record, regulated offerings including Reg A, qualified vehicles, and the Grayscale Stacks Trust allow institutions to evaluate and access stacks within familiar allocation and reporting frameworks. From Munib Ali himself, imagine hedge funds on Wall Street that optimize any spread to increase profits. This is now impacting Bitcoin treasury companies where people need to figure out how to get yield on BTC. They are looking at L2s like Stacks that offer BTC yield. This is a huge article, so let me actually see. Maybe we'll cover the rest of this tomorrow. Capital efficient rails for BTC and USD movement. That is with USDCX. If you guys don't know, USDC on Stacks is a huge game changer for Bitcoin because we now have USDC, a real dollar stablecoin, on Bitcoin with Stacks. And then the AI agent economy on Bitcoin. We're actually meeting with the AI BTC devs later today, where they're going to have the AI working group, the Stacks AI working group. That is at 12:30. We'll be jumping in with them, and there is so much cool stuff happening with what those guys are working on, and private self-custodial movement. Privacy solutions are being worked on Stacks as well. Privacy solutions for Bitcoin DeFi, for Bitcoin holders, and much more. So this is all happening on Stacks. This is real development. It's not hypothetical. It's not theoretical. It's just a matter of time before the kinks are worked out. It's happening on Stacks, my friends. So make sure you're checking out the Stacks forum. That's where you guys can get information on that. Again, shout out to Hero Gamer for what he's been doing with his stuff, with the all following around the working groups, the development groups on Stacks, and giving us regular updates weekly on these things, really daily as they happen. So just to the video. Yeah, GP, this is right in the Stacks forum. So it's in the Stacks forum, and this link is in Stacks Snacks. I can bring you on. It looks like you're good to go. I know Hano had a late night or late whatever. He was coming back late. GP was. I saw you talking when I first went to turn you on. I was like, oh, he's still in the space. And then I turned you on. As soon as I switched it on, it was like ice. You're muted.
Wonderful. Good morning, guys. Getting up to a great start. I was talking with Gareth a little bit about how to get some of these different wallets from other ecosystems involved and integrated into Stacks on the whatever mornings with the Good Vibe Tribe a little bit. It was a good conversation, so I'm gonna get him connected with some people. And yeah, good morning, Peace. How are we doing this morning?
Doing good, man. Doing good. There's so much to talk. It just took me like 15 minutes to read through all the things happening on Stacks, and that's not even all the things. That's just like,
oh, dude, that's only the surface.
Right.
Yeah,
it's not even all the core stuff.
It's a lot, dude. It's a lot. And stacks.co/blog, right? That's where we can see some of these things that you.
If you go to, it's stacks.co/blog, but you can also start at forum.stacks.org. And
so they both link to the same thing. Okay.
It basically goes to the same thing, but if you just type, because you're going to the forum, I usually just start typing forum and it populates for me.
Right.
Stacks Co, there's a lot of different things you're going there for.
I feel like there's a few different things that need to be kind of updated on stacks.co, which is being worked on, I'm sure. But it's a good place to get your alpha. I feel like some of these articles that have been coming out lately are really, really good reads, and I'm trying to cover most of them, format, so that we can reach out with the information a little bit further and wider. But there is a good post that I was looking for yesterday that was talking a little bit about digital asset treasuries and them being put to work in Stacks. So if you come across that post, let me know. I couldn't find it on the main Stacks handle. I don't know who it was. Maybe it was the advisor that posted it, but it was a really good read. And I'm trying to.
Which one? The one that Gnome put out
I think
with all of this stuff?
it might be Gnome. I'm gonna have to go back through and take a look at his his timeline. But
I'm actually I thought actually I think we're gonna jump into the Clarity working group. I didn't realize that was going on right now. So let me see if they'll let me in late. Sometimes they
close the door.
Says Zeus can be a little bit of a stickler. He doesn't like it when people are late to the party. Let me see if I can get us in. Oh, am I not even on? Am I in the wrong one? Is it on this one? Let me see if Phil probably let me in. All right, let me see if I can do this.
Noticed that after everything integrating to Vessel, it's not broadcasting transactions, and it seems like the problem is not from the Vessel itself. So I'm stuck because I can't seem to find anything wrong with my smart contracts.
Okay, I mean that might be a separate issue, which we can get into, and I don't know if you guys are working with post conditions. Or if you have them set up, maybe we can just go through this error first. So how are you? So the only way you've interacted with this contributing a campaign has been through the Explorer, because it seems like the front end doesn't even let you broadcast a transaction, right? So you can't really get far with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then essentially you've got, let me share it then, I guess. Hold on a second. So yeah, so just focusing on this here, essentially you're making this contract call, contribute a campaign, and it failed. But it says this transaction did not succeed because the transaction was aborted during its execution. A failed transaction is included in a block. Mining fees are paid to the miner and are non-refundable, but failed because it violates the rules of the Stacks protocol or the smart contract it interacted with. See the error code and/or contract to learn more about the specific cause of the failure. So I mean, the first thing, like just outside of this, like I would love this to be more explicit. That might be something just to think about more for like long term, because this is just a little bit too ambiguous. I've gotten this in the past, and I think it could mean a few number of things. But I just think like that's something that would be good for us to think about, just the Stacks in general, because it would alleviate a lot of like bottlenecks, obviously, for engineers. But I don't know, maybe there's something I'm not thinking about in terms of complexity. But if we go to the function called, so I'm actually, let me just see here. I'm actually already logged into my wallet because I wanted to test this. Let's just see here. Okay, but the failure here is error 302, right? And so that helps us because right away we can go back to that error. And then we see that you've put in campaign ID 4, amount 1,000, and then you've got this trait reference escrow principal, right? This address. So campaign amount escrow. So if we go to error 302 in your contract, so you've got error campaign not found. So for some reason, this campaign was not found. And if we go to, let me just font F302. Let's see, or, okay, if you don't have this, then it'll probably just be the name of this. Second. Okay. So here we are in the function, right? So contributing to campaign, you've got the UINT, you've got the amount, you've got that escrow. And then you've got these campaigns, you're tracking by ID, and you can't unwrap this because it's not found, and the error kind of comes up probably right there. Okay, and then you've got the same error in other functions, which we probably don't need just yet. Let's focus on that first one. Yeah, so as Jesus was saying, that it probably can't find that. So then obviously the question is, how did you sort of like get to this? You know, I'm assuming you created the campaign like first, or how did you do it?
Okay. I think now I'm beginning to see where my mistake is. So it's a demo. It's not like we created a campaign yet. They're all demo campaigns. So maybe I could show you the demo.
Yeah. It's just if you have something you want to say, or
Yeah. Okay, let's just go back to sharing the contract. I'll share.
okay.
Okay, yeah, Victor. I'd rather be very effective than, slow or just like not being straightforward. But yeah, you're not testing this correctly. So if I look at the actual contract, you haven't been able to make a single campaign.
Okay.
Literally everything's failed. Except for when you deploy the contract. It failed because in your first one, when you were trying to create campaign, you are failing an authorization check. If you look at error 309, that is an auth check. Error no verification. So then if I look up error no verification, my hunch is you are not calling into this verification address beforehand and setting this filmmaker to currently verified. So when you call this function, you are passing in this verification address contract. But you haven't called into it, man.
Yeah. Say that again. I didn't hear what you said.
He hasn't called into the verification contract. So,
Okay,
yeah. So, Victor, you have a verification system, which, by the way, I love this book, Good to Great by Jim Collins. Phenomenal book. You have a verification system. You need to first make sure that you are the verified filmmaker, and then try creating a campaign. Because right here, you are trying to create campaigns, but you're not a verified filmmaker. So that's why none of the campaigns that you created were working. Which is why, obviously, when you're trying to contribute to a campaign, it's also not working, because those campaigns don't exist. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you understand that, you really have to run the steps as if you're doing them, in real life in your.
Just real quick, what's up, Tinderly? We're covering the Clarity Working Group call right now, but I want to remind everybody that Tinderly is a D grants applicant. He has a D grant project. You guys should absolutely be following Tinderly on X and make sure that you're tuning in when he goes live. It's really important. We're getting some exposure to stacks, non-crypto space. And so we need to make sure we're supporting those. You're following Tinderly. I'm going to turn it back.
Identities, which it seems like this is your main struct for dealing with this filmmaker. My recommendation is when you deploy this contract, just initialize a filmmaker here, where you just have the address, where you just have the principal for the deployer. So you can just below this, right, define map set filmmaker's identity, TX sender, and then put everything in. And then that way, when you deploy this contract, you'll already have you verified as a filmmaker, so you could go ahead and test and start testing the rest of the workflow.
Please come again. I missed the part. The
Okay.
initialization.
You want to initialize this contract with one filmmaker already registered, so that you don't have to call into it to register itself. You can do that
Okay.
by, yeah, and you can just do that by here saying map set filmmaker's identity, TX sender, and then fill in the data that you want. So that way, when you deploy this contract, that will already be initialized, so you could go ahead and try testing the rest of your workflow.
Yeah, would that be only for testnet? Like, would the same thing run for mainnet?
It's the same thing. We're just giving him a way to set up the first filmmaker so that he can test successfully.
So you're saying I should do that in the filmmaker's contract, the film verification contract, right?
Yeah, just to initialize so that you can test the rest everything else out.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise you just have to create the filmmaker, right, every time.
Yeah.
I know. I would be okay. So where would I be initializing it? Which of the public functions will I be map setting it? Okay, here I believe.
In the one that he just referenced,
That should
you
be-
just do it right.
That's register filmmaker ID, I believe.
No, I'm saying underneath your map here, just initialize
Okay.
one account with map set, filmmaker's identity, TX sender, and then your information. So Victor, whatever,
You're
verified.
defining
true.
the map and you're setting your first
Exactly.
filmmaker in the same place. Does that make sense? So you would just add a map that inside.
That way you don't have to call in the function to first sign up your first person. You have it ready to go, and you can just go ahead and start.
Okay. Okay.
Cool. Copy.
All right.
All right. Yeah, I wanted to also get 402 stacks in here, but we had issues inviting. Then when we invited his other account, he didn't really say hello yet in the chat, so I couldn't really start that. Because I did want to see if we can get him in here just to talk about the 402 stacks API stuff. Maybe we'll do that next time. I don't know if anyone else has anything they want to chat about or any questions. I feel like today's going to be super fast, super short. Victor, do you have any other? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask a question? So I have a question for Victor. Like in this application, this is CineX, right?
Yeah.
So where you have the filmmaker, like how do you verify his identity? Because I'm working on something called StoryOS, which is basically for creative writers, like writing screenplays and stuff. So now I'm working on conceptually what is the decentralized identifier like for that person? Is it like some kind of metadata which points to IMDb links and verification to their work, to LinkedIn? Like how do you see this? Like if you had to onboard people in film, the film and media business, how would you do that?
Yeah, you exactly answered it. It's just their links, wherever their links are, whether on LinkedIn, whether on YouTube, wherever it is. I'm just trying to stay away from paying too much for what's it called, CDNs, right?
So when you say but when you say CDN, like what kind of like what are you thinking?
Content delivery networks. Yeah.
Yes, but what kind of content are you looking at over there?
As long as they have their profiles, their portfolios, wherever they may be hosted, maybe IMDb, maybe on YouTube, maybe LinkedIn. So the website doesn't have to. We don't have to pay too much for getting like a Pinata pinned storage and all of that. Yeah, we don't have to do all of that. Thanks to Zero really advised me on that, because I was thinking of getting a premium Pinata and all of that. And he said, well, now in this pilot stage or MVP stage, should I just avoid spending too much money on all of those things? And really, people can always link to their profiles wherever they are. There are so many websites they have their profiles. So that's it basically. I don't know if this meeting is being recorded. I would have loved to go back so that I could follow what Zeus said.
It's because it's really, really interesting because like, okay, how can you then like say if you had to onboard the user in steps, like what I'm creating is I'm asking questions. Are you a screenwriter? Are you an actor? Okay, just click these things, put your link. Once that's done, okay, how do you take that information and put it in a contract? So how would that be possible? And like, even if I can understand just the high level of it, I can write it down and maybe work on something.
Yeah, BNS v2.
That makes sense, right?
And the zone file inside BNS v2.
Because I'm also looking into the story protocol. That's IP. So that's a way for like creators to register an IP. So say if there's a scene or a screenplay, they can register that. But if there was some way to aggregate all that information into one lump, which can be then verified, it's almost like voting. Then if you have somebody established who is signed in and registered, if suppose some big filmmaker like Quentin Tarantino says, okay, I verify this profile. That could be really interesting. Like that helps like build social credit for that individual. This is what I've been like thinking about. Like how do you make that membership valuable? So usually social proof of some kind, some recommendation from some filmmaker. Like I'm on IMDb as a composer. So like, okay, now I need to make sure that the filmmaker and the producers I work with, they are able to sign up with a BNS name or some way verify. So I'm just thinking through this, like what all information I need to collect. But this is really interesting. Thanks.
Okay. Could I chip in a bit here based on field experience? So what I discovered last week, I just came back from onboarding beta users to CineX, and that's because you're speaking about filmmakers, right? I discovered something about them. I think it's applicable to filmmakers globally, if I'm not mistaken. There are a bunch of people that deal with equipment, cameras, and the likes of them. They really are not given to this whole decentralized thing. I kid you not. I met high-level veteran filmmakers in my country, had meetings with them, and Zeus, Gary, I kid you not, they never touched one single feature in CineX. They didn't even bother test it. They didn't even allow me. They were not willing to test the features of CineX. They only asked me one question. They just saw it as a bank.
Yeah.
They asked me one question. They said, this is a bank without borders, so where's liquidity? And because if it's a bank, then where's the capitalization? That is, how is capital being injected into this bank for them? And I think even in Hollywood, that would be the only question any filmmaker would ask. So I am beginning to tone down to pivot CineX from just so much of the blockchain technicalities and begin to appeal to these people who have they don't want the technical jargons. They just want to know how can, in fact, that's part of my proposal. I'm about to propose as I submit to the grants this Thursday. I'm proposing that how can Stacks see Cinex as its arm, the arm of Stacks that will be a media financing solution to filmmakers globally? Because those people don't care jack about blockchain. They don't care anything about BNS. I'm telling you the truth. They don't care. I met Steve. They were very, very ruthless with me, but because I had I was a filmmaker before, because I had relationships with most of those filmmakers. So I used the power of relationship to get into their midst and was able to buy my way around them and assuage their hearts to say, I will be speaking with my leaders to see that Stacks finds a way to bring in liquidity, to inject liquidity into this, to see it as really a bank. So I'll tell you, right, RV, right? Do not believe it's about filmmakers. Do not really bother yourself too much about heavy blockchain. Find a way to scale it down to their level. Yeah, to their level.
Yeah, so I'm happy to give an opinion on here, Victor. I just want to say, and again, I feel like it's interesting to hear you say that, because everyone who's a veteran here will agree completely with what I'm going to say, but that's your initiation as a founder in Web3, man. Most people do not give a crap whether it's a blockchain, a U-chain, whether it's decentralized, centralized, use a Schnorr signature or Merkle roots. Like, no one gives a shit, man. They just want to make money, and they want products that make money for them and that solve their problems. I'm happy to talk to you about that in another meeting that is not about clarity, because as a founder, as an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
I've gone through that pain point many, many times where I'm pitching the futures as opposed to the benefits and addressing their pain points.
Yeah.
And that's just like a holistic lesson that is very different from clarity engineering. But don't feel discouraged, because that was the first reaction. That was exactly how it was supposed to go, and how it went for everyone here who's worked on a Web3 idea first.
Yeah, and I concur, and I just say it's better to get to this point sooner than later.
Yeah.
If you're going to get to it, and some people will spend years before they talk to their first, potential user. So it's actually a blessing, in disguise.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, thank you. It was a blessing, a great one, actually. It was a great blessing.
Yeah, so you'll pivot and you'll adjust your
good news
proposal.
is that good news is that they all signed up for the wait list. They were glad to sign up.
Good. So you are solving something that they need. They just don't care how you solve it. They just want you to solve it. So you'll be able to add the recording, it looks like, through DeOrganized, which is great. And if not, message us. It's not, I understand what Setsus was saying, so I can help you as well. So yeah, and if you want, Setsus, you want to go through what Hero Gamer just put?
I'm reading it right now. Yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I'm happy to cover it really. I'm happy to cover it really quickly. So those of you that don't know, and of course maybe Rüdiger or Bowtie, you guys have different opinions than I do, because this is my first time reading it. But my initial gut reaction, Hero, is that this is.
Can you share
Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. I'll share the link as well. Yeah, if you guys want to look at the message conversation, apparently there's a thread in the forum about an idea of a BIP. My quick read is that this just adds like a couple functions for checking whether someone is an owner of a contract, pausing a contract. I got lost on reentrancy guards. Reentrancy doesn't exist in Clarity, so I don't know what he's talking about here. Rate limiting. I also don't know what rate limiting means in blockchain. Like, that's what the fees are for. So I'm lost on these 2 points, unless anyone else wants to speak up. Okay, cool. These first 3 points. Access control Yeah, most contracts use this. Whether we should standardize that into a trait, I don't know. That's nah. I don't. I wouldn't really care. Because like it's your contract and you should have ownership for it. Traits are usually used because you want predefined behavior when a contract interacts with another contract. If this specific trait is about who can access only this contract, then it's not being used to call other contracts. So I don't really see why I would standardize an admin model for my own contracts if it's not relevant to other contracts. Like I want access control the way I want it. The signatures might look different. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really see. I don't really like two. I'm also not sure how you put that into a trait. One, I'm iffy on whether that matters. Three, okay. Most contracts should maybe be possible. I can agree with that. But again, maybe I'm just reading this wrong, but like traits are meant to create defined paths between one contract calling to another. And all 5 of these points look like they're limited to just a single contract. So, and again, reentrancy doesn't exist. It seems like this is a Solidity developer because they're clearly very familiar with Open Zeppelin. Not that there's anything wrong with Solidity, but it just seems to me that he's applying like a lot of the Solidity. He's reaching for Solidity toolkits, not finding them, and then trying to import them to Clarity, which is not the first time we've had someone like move through that process, right? Because they are different languages.
Hi.
Yeah, basically, I think this proposal is trying to import some of the Solidity coding patterns into Clarity, but because they are very different, they cannot apply. Like a trait is not the right place to implement these, maybe. Like
That's my thought.
Stuff. Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah,
These
you
are more
cannot
like
inherit.
governance properties. Oh, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, you cannot inherit through traits. So you could have something like a core thing, but then if you have several contracts, they're using the same core, then it becomes difficult because you're managing everything through this one thing.
Friedrich, can you expand? Like kind of like what you said, contracts should not have an owner. Like, how do you kind of think about that?
Well, just in general, we are writing protocols, and if HTTP or FTP or email has an owner, then it becomes difficult. But I understand that sometimes you want to have an owner because it's about money. So, yeah. Just a bit provoking, sorry.
Well,
Don't
is
take
it
it
more
too
about like
serious.
validating, not necessarily like you're an admin of the contract, but like validating, kind of like how we have TX sender, like who can deploy or I don't know, I'm just thinking through.
My thought is most of these are governance properties, and we should, in no shot, try to standardize governance. Yeah, that's my. Honestly, I think Friedrich said it as cleanly as you could have. You cannot inherit through traits, and most of these seem to be trying to inherit like security patterns for a single contract. Yeah, Hero, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, I mean, it's for him. So yeah, I'm sure he will just need to, take the feedback and then, maybe he's just trying. I think, like you said, he was used to the Ethereum environment, and he couldn't find the equivalent of open zapping thing in stacks, and I think he just wanted. I guess he just wished him or other developer can save time without recreating everything from scratch. That's my understanding, and that's why he thought, okay, what if we create a Lego block that can be used by other people, But you guys mentioned like maybe you cannot recreate that Lego block here, but maybe through other means. I don't know.
Yeah, I think something like template contracts or something where you have code and you just initialize with your data, so if you take a token, you can have one standard template thing and you just initialize with your values for the symbol and so on. So everyone has the same contract, and then you can verify through the hash that it's always the same. So you only need to audit it once, but you have your own token. And maybe that can be applied in a more general way. If we have a governance set up with a DAO, then we take this, we initialize with our values, the initial members of the DAO or something. But the code is the same. We just deploy our own version, or we deploy the same version, the same code, but initialize with our own things.
That makes sense. That makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
And with Clarity 4, we can even verify this on chain, where we say, oh, these are all the contracts that use the same code, so it's safe, or it's as safe as everyone else code.
Right.
Using this token or this
as unsafe as everyone else.
Yeah. So I like that if we can do that. So I try to do that with the smart wallets. So have a registry where you can submit your contract, and then if the hash matches the original one, then it's accepted in the registry. So you can even look up it on chain whether it's safe or not. Safe, still in code.
Makes sense.
Does anyone have anything else? All right.
Just words of wisdom for Victor. Keep your head up. We've all been through this. Just remember, don't fall in love. Well, fall in love with the tech, but never forget that's not what the customer is buying. Like, they want more money. They want more time. They want to look cool. Like that. That's all people want. So just reframe your value prop to that.
Okay. For Chimbi, I know him personally, so I'll convey the outcome of this meeting to him. That's the guy who proposed it. He actually was my student in Clarity after. So I'll reach out to him and I'll explain. He didn't reach out to me when he was proposing this, because so a background about him. He's not actually a Solidity developer, but he's a very, very inquisitive person. So I guess he inquired into Solidity, and when I was taking in Clarity, I did some Solidity, so I gave him a little bit of the syntax of Solidity. And then I showed him that of Clarity side by side, and I asked him to make his choice, which one that, and gave him the prospects of Clarity. And so he made his choice, his call for Clarity. But I guess maybe he began to romance Solidity a bit. But I will reach out to him and have a chit chat with him and explain a few of this outcome here.
All good, man. We always want more people exploring and being. We'd rather have more people do